Hello guys and welcome to another video from Time of Business. Today we are going to talk about Etsy Reserve. So how Etsy is actually holding 75% of your funds for 45 up to 90 days. Lately, more and more stores have been complaining about the fact that Etsy has put a hold on 75% of their funds, and also they have deducted taxes and fees from the remaining 25%, which leaves a lot of Etsy sellers without the possibility of buying new supplies, new products in order to sustain their business on Etsy. So, can this affect you, so your Etsy store? How can you avoid this? Or what can you do in order to speed up the process and get out of this situation? Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to learn how to grow on Etsy, how to improve your SEO, your titles, tags, product descriptions, photos, you need to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, check out our website, timeofbusiness.com, because we have a ton of useful information, so blog posts for Etsy sellers just like you. We also talk about how to build an online business, a Shopify store, which might be useful for you in the future. So, without any further ado, let's dive into the problem that so many Etsy sellers are facing right now. If you are a new Etsy seller, yes, unfortunately, this can affect you. You have very little transaction history or no sales so far, and Etsy needs to be sure that you are a legitimate seller, and this way they can also protect their customers, so the buyers that go on Etsy and purchase all those items. Now, here is the catch. Until now, it was thought that only new sellers could be placed on reserve, so their funds on hold. But we have seen a bunch of reports and interviews where people that had their stores for more than 5 years had their funds on hold, and there are reports from the UK where people have over $20,000 locked, so on reserve, and they can no longer pay their rent or buy food. So the situation is pretty serious. What are the main reasons Etsy places your funds on reserve? Some of the most common reasons are a sudden increase in your sales, having a new store that suddenly gets a lot of traction and sales, or shops with intellectual property infringement notices. That is something that you can actually avoid, so make sure to read the entire Etsy guide and their policies on what you can actually list on Etsy and what not. So, what can you do in order to avoid this or to speed up the process of getting out of this situation? You can speed up the process by doing a very good job, especially when it comes to your first sales on Etsy. And that means to actually deliver your orders on time, update them with a tracking number, make sure that you do not take too much time in order to fulfill, so to ship out those items. Make sure to take that tracking number and update it on Etsy so that Etsy also has access to your tracking number. Once the order has arrived, make sure to reach out to your customers, make sure that everything is okay, that they are satisfied. Maybe you can also ask them for a feedback, so for a positive review on Etsy. That can actually show proof to Etsy that you are a legitimate seller and that they can actually trust you, and your funds will no longer be put on hold, so on reserve. If that keeps on happening to you, meaning that if you see that after you have completed your first orders, you have those initial few good feedbacks, that means that you can also reach out to Etsy and tell them, hey, I'm a valuable seller on your platform. You can see my reviews. You can see that I am updating the orders on time with the tracking number. So I really need those funds in order to continue my business on Etsy, and they are very important to me. I would appreciate if my funds would no longer be placed on hold. Why is this happening now? As we have mentioned in our previous videos, Etsy is one of the fastest growing online marketplaces, and that means that a lot of sellers come on the platform each day. This means that a lot of scammers also can come to the platform each day, and Etsy needs to also protect their buyers, and that is why this action is usually placed on the new sellers on Etsy. This way, Etsy can gain trust in your new account, so in your new seller account. If you update your orders, if your customers are satisfied and they leave good feedback, this is a great way for you to get out of this situation. How long will this last? This is a very tough question and not easy to answer. We have already seen some official replies from Etsy where they are telling us that they are working on this situation, so on this matter, and they are working on lowering that hold. So instead of 75%, maybe 50 or 25, and also to eliminate the hold on all the accounts that actually are very legitimate and have a very good track record of their sales on Etsy. Also, it is very important for you to voice out your concerns. So if you have a community where you see that this happens, you can actually reach out to Etsy. Maybe you can do a strike just as it happened in the United Kingdom. That way you can actually determine Etsy to take the right decisions for you, the Etsy sellers. Also, a very important lesson that we can learn from this entire story is that maybe it is time for you to consider starting your own website. So building your own website in Shopify, and that is why you should consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, because we actually help you learn how to grow your online business, how to build a Shopify store, your social media presence, a YouTube channel, and you can actually diversify your income sources, so your income streams. And that way, when something similar happens to Etsy, to eBay, to Shopify, you have the other income streams to make sure that your business keeps on growing. Make sure that you can actually pay your rent, your employees, your products, your supplies. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video. Also, once again, check out our website, Time of Business, because we have a bunch of blog posts that can help you grow on Etsy, on Shopify, on YouTube, a blog, and so on. So to sum up, if you find yourself in this situation where your funds are placed on hold, make sure to fulfill your orders on time, update the tracking numbers, make sure that your customers are satisfied with the orders, maybe even reach out to get that positive review. Then also try to reach out to Etsy in order to lift that reserve from your account, and hopefully that will end very soon for you and for the majority of Etsy sellers. Please let us know in the comments below if your funds were placed on hold, how long did it take, what is your story, how did this affect you, how did you solve this matter, because there are other Etsy sellers that will go through these comments and they can actually learn from your experience, and maybe we can speed up the process for others or for everybody in the Etsy community. We also suggest that you go and join the Etsy Facebook groups that we have, link in the description below, because you can meet a bunch of other Etsy sellers, Etsy buyers. You can learn about the Etsy community and universe in those Facebook groups. So that was the video for today, guys. Once again, like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you on the next video.